Hello, my name is Mike Florin, and I'm the owner of Low Cost Mortgage. Today's your weekly update for March 15th, 2024. We just saw a bounce, a stereotypical bounce. And I'm going to throw a chart up here, but if you notice, rates were relatively stable, and then last week they started coming down pretty hard. Why? Good data. We hit that end of last week, rates were on that low spot. But then this week, some bad data came out. What happened was the CPI was higher, which makes rates go higher, and that was on Tuesday. So if you notice, you go Monday, it's okay. It's relatively flat on Monday. Tuesday, rates get worse. Wednesday, relatively flat. And then on Thursday, jobless reports come out, and jobless claims are low, so that means rates are going up. So in essence, we've seen a bounce. Rates were decent, they come down. Bad data, they come back up again, and they've ended up roughly where they were about 2 weeks ago. Now, with lenders like us and realtors such as yourself, when you're doing a deal and you're trying to make sure that the borrower has the best deal, let's look at two different scenarios here, or two different things that we would do. And we're going to show charts, and I'm going to draw some things on them. So bear in mind, I'm just using paint real quick to draw some lines on it. But scenario one, what we're going to say is they went under contract before this dip. And if we see the rates are relatively stable, we're most likely going to take that loan and put it with a lender that floats down if we think that there's a probability of rates going down and then maybe back up again, but at least going down. We're going to definitely put that with an investor that does float down. Oh, and by the way, we have two investors that do not. One conventional lender that does not float down, and we have another one which is government only, and they don't float down. So scenario one, we go under contract, rates are high, then rates come down through that contract process. As long as that file is approved from underwriting, we can float that rate down. So we had a lot of deals that came in when rates were about 2-3 weeks ago. You know, rates were where they were, fairly stable. Rates came down, guess what we did? Float down, float down, float down. And most of your lenders can do the same thing as long as the loan's placed in the right place. So then rates came back up again. Now everybody through that entire period of time, that 30-day window, was able to get a better deal than we already had, which is good, Scenario two is we go under contract when rates are on the heavy downward trend before they went up, or maybe they're already going up, and that would be last week and this week. Now, I've gotten about 12.5 deals in the last week and a half or so. And out of those deals, when rates are coming down every day, we register the loan and we don't lock. But as soon as we see the next day is the same or maybe a little bit worse, we'll typically just go in and lock right away. So that would have been last week. This week, when deals are coming in and the rates are upward trending, we are rushing to register, rushing to lock right away, because we don't know if it's going to go up and stay, or maybe it's going to go up and then come back down. But one thing we do know is rates going up and down in the last year and a half is solely dependent on the data. And we can expect all investors, which are the bigger banks, Flagstar, Rocket, etc. We can expect those banks to be very skittish when it comes to interest rates. They're afraid to lose money on a deal. And since we just came out of 2 years of rates in the 2s and 3s, everybody's being very cautious of what's on their books right now. With that being said, whenever data comes out that is just slightly bad, you're going to see almost all the investors price out worse. And that's just going to be what happens. I'd like to go into further conversations, but we're preparing for the real estate awards here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So we're one of the main hosts on that one, but we got to go take care of that. So I will see you guys later. Have a great day.